Hello everyone and welcome to Miko's Corner. Today we are going to try something a little different. As I said earlier, I was looking into doing some React type videos or quizzes, reading Am I the A-hole threads, things like that. First I'd like to give a shout out to White Bat Audio again. And I found a nostalgic synth playlist, Cascades, which is supposed to be royalty free and copyright safe. I'll link the description to the video in I'll link the video in the description below. There we go. And today we're going to be reading a few different articles and a couple quizzes depending on how long it takes. I'm trying to do this with very minimal editing because I don't have a good video editor right now that I trust that I'm good at, because I don't like paying for Premiere Pro, which is what I'm used to, like significantly used to. So I'm treating it like a stream where we're going from our intro screen to our recording screen to our outro screen, so there's hopefully no need for editing. So I've already read this one, but I wanted to read it for you guys too because I was trying to find some stuff for us to do. These unsettling experiences sent us running the other way. We all have those memories that we can't quite explain that keep us up at night. Whether you saw something you can't explain or heard a sound that sent a chill down your spine, you know what I mean. Well, these Redditors' unsettling experiences are beyond creepy. They're downright disturbing. Number 1. The Cabin in the Woods. My uncle used to have a cabin in the woods near Winter, Wisconsin. I used to spend time there in the summer, tearing through the woods with my 2 cousins. One extremely early morning, when I was about 10, my uncle woke us up roughly and told us it was time to go fishing. It was still super early, and we were all confused because it was pitch dark. He hustled us down to the dock where he kept his fishing boat and quickly launched us into the water and away from the house. At this point, we were all getting a little freaked out, but this was just the beginning. My uncle wasn't talking. We just sat, shivering under a blanket at the bow of the boat, while my uncle stared wide-eyed at the shoreline and waved a flashlight furtively ahead of us. We eventually arrived at my uncle's friend's cabin across the lake and tumbled into his house. Our uncle sent us to the loft to sleep. He and his buddy locked the doors and left, not returning until well after sunrise. Eventually, our uncle showed up with the truck and trailer already packed with all of our gear, and he told us it was time to go. Many years later, my uncle confided to me that the reason he'd hustled us home was because he'd woken up around 3 a.m. to a strange thok, thok, thok sound from outside the cabin. He'd gone out to investigate when a massive jack pine fell directly across the narrow driveway, blocking us in. Startled by the noise, he swept his flashlight along the tree line. Just in time, my uncle saw a man holding an axe. The man slinked away into the dark of the trees and woods. He and his buddy returned to his cabin later and had taken turns chainsawing the tree that fell across our narrow driveway apart, while the other stood watch. He never found the man, and he never found the axe. There's a little... I don't know why they chose that photo of the kid, but whatever. That is spooky. The fun thing about that one is the fact that this was the intro one on the link preview. So I'm glad that they started with that one. In fact, maybe, did I read the whole thing? Maybe I didn't. Money Made's video, oh, sorry, ignore that. Friggin' ad. I was 13 at the time and it was late at night. My old bedroom faces the door at the top of our stairs and into my parents' bedroom. One night, my mom was at work and Dad was visiting my grandmother, so I was in my room listening to music when I heard someone coming up the stairs. We don't lock our doors in our neighborhood. When I looked, it was my dad in his usual pajamas. I said goodnight, but he never faced me. He just went into the bedroom and that was it. I went back to whatever I was doing. Half an hour later, I heard someone else coming up the stairs, and when I looked, it was my dad, fully clothed, wearing his jacket. He asked me how my night went, and I just went pale. To this day, we cannot figure out what happened. He checked the house and no one was there, but our house had been known for being haunted. We've had several people leave our place because it just didn't feel right, and some out-of-ordinary things have happened. I never stayed in my house by myself after that. That is spooky. Break and enter. When I was 16, I went to a flea market. It was the last day of... Sorry. It was the last day of the flea market was open before closing down for the season. I came across a man in a booth selling knives, throwing stars, and all sorts of bladed instruments. Behind him on a rack was a katana. He sold it to me for $20. That's cheap. Now, what is a 16-year-old guy going to do with a katana? Nothing. I kept it for years. It stayed either in a closet or under my bed for years. When I went to college, it followed. Fast forward to August 18th, 2006. I was living by myself in Charleston on the ground floor of a one-bedroom apartment. My katana was under my bed. I have a sliding glass door with vertical blinds, a screened-in patio, and a hammock hung outside. That night around 3 a.m., I woke up and heard my blinds rattling. I thought to myself, wow, it's windy outside. But I soon came to a horrific realization. I remember that I never slept with a sliding glass door open and that someone was in my apartment. I was laying in bed thinking of things I can use as a weapon to defend myself and my home with. Then I realized that the sword was under my bed. Oh yes, it was righteous. With my sword gleaming in the dim light, I crept around the corner and looked into my living room to find two very large men stuffing my belongings into garbage bags. When you're amped up on adrenaline, you say some dumb things, so I yelled, "You! Stop!" They both turned and ran out the sliding glass door. The only thought that going through my mind was that those jerks have my stuff and I want it back. I chased them out of the door, through the wooded area behind my apartment, into a marshy area behind that. All of this was in my underwear, no shoes, no contacts, and with a big sword. Sadly, I lost track of them, and sanity swept right back into my brain. Seeped back into my brain. I realized that they might have a piece. Oh, a weapon. I'm practically blind, carrying a very large blade, and the only people that know that I'm out here are me and them. I went back inside and called the authorities. The burglars had cut away my screen on the patio and used the blade as a prying instrument, forcing the lock on my sliding glass door open. How they managed to get past the hammock in the dark without getting wrapped up like a spider's prey is beyond me. For weeks I made rounds to area pawn shops, but to no avail. None of my stuff was ever recovered, and I was uninsured. I lost my laptop, my DVDs, all of my video games, and my keys. Oh man, that really sucks. I thought these were supposed to be spooky. I saw a ghost. When I was about 5, my family was visiting my grandparents, who lived in a duplex at the time. There was 2 doorbells, and I ran up to the house and rang one of them. A creepy old lady answered the door downstairs. Wrong apartment. I remember getting scared and running back to the car. Anyway, 20 years passed by. At Thanksgiving dinner, I told my family how I was always scared to ring the doorbells at my grandparents' old apartment because I couldn't remember which one was the right one. I also told them how I was always scared of the creepy old lady and described her looks a bit. Everybody went quiet and I wondered what was wrong. Then my mom explained that for the entire time I was alive, nobody had lived in that apartment. But the last tenant, who had croaked in the apartment, looked just like what I described. We were all creeped out, and I still can't explain it. That's cool. I have never had a ghostly experience myself, but I have been in ghostly areas. I've worked in a couple, 3 theaters at this point, probably more. And there are definitely stories that have happened in those places. Most recently, there was a little boy seen by one of our terror theater performers. I was performing with them as well. And she thought that this boy got lost from the group because the group had gone by. She'd seen the leader that worked for the theater, the group go by, and then she saw the little boy, and the little boy was wearing like a white and black striped shirt. Obviously he wasn't a prisoner, I don't think. And I think it was that shirt. Let's put it that way. And so she asked about it on our next break, and the production manager of the theater was like, "Wait a minute, what did you just say?" And she explained, having worked there for several years, that it was the image of one of the ghosts that are in that building. Apparently that same little ghost was seen during an opera event when the current executive director started working there. And he was like, "Oh, that's so great, someone brought their kid to the opera." "Nope, you saw the ghost, bro." Things like that. So I'm not like a non-believer. I'd like to believe. But I also don't do well with scary things, as you guys know. I'll read 1 or 2 more and then we'll move on to something else. I'm Irish and was still living in Tyrone, Ireland when this happened. About 4 years ago, I was lying in my bed in my parents' house. My bed was right at the window, when I was woken up by a horrible screaming, wailing noise in our garden at 3 a.m. It always happens at 3 a.m. in these stories. It was like the noise an injured cat would make, but crossed with the sound of a screaming baby. Okay, but cats can sound like babies, so it probably was a cat. I opened the window and looked out and heard the noise again, but coming from the back garden of the house next door. Then one more time from the third house. Something about it completely terrified me, and I knew something wasn't right about it. But I tried to convince myself it was a cat that had been hit by a car. That's sad too. I went downstairs to go outside and see if I could find it, and my own cat was lying fast asleep. If he had heard it too, he would have been at the window looking out. It was then I realized what was really happening. Only I had heard it. Freaked out, I went back to bed. The next morning, I was talking to my mom at breakfast and asked if she'd heard the noise. She said, "No, but did you hear the terrible news? The man who lived in the house 2 doors down passed at 3 a.m. You must have heard the banshee." That was scary. I know a lot of people think the whole banshee thing in Ireland is just made up for tourists, but actually quite a lot of people here have seen or heard something like this. Most families have a story about hearing the banshee before someone passes. It was the most horrible noise I ever heard, and I sincerely hope I never hear it again. I have definitely heard stories about the banshee before. Not in reality, but like either TV, maybe not TV, but like other YouTubers or streamers potentially, and in general just discussion about it. My mom worked in a pediatric ward here in our local hospital. Once while working the night shift, she heard a truly terrifying sound. There was giggling noises coming from the playpen area of the ward. She was by herself, and understandably, she was very freaked out. During the night, she figured that the noise she kept hearing must have been from one of the toys, dolls, robots, stuffed animals, in the playpen. Anyway, she tried her best to ignore the noise. Hours later, she fell asleep, despite being so freaked out. When she woke up the next morning, she decided to figure out what the heck had happened. She played with all the toys in the ward, trying to extract every noise she could from them. Not one matched the laughing noise she heard the night before. Was that the end of that one? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of spooky. Dear John, when I was around 7, my grandmother took care of a baby whose mother was mentally ill. This woman would bring her child, let's call him John, to my grandmother's house and leave him there for months at a time. Needless to say, our family became very attached and thought of him as part of the family. His mother came to get him one night, but they got in a car crash on the way home. John was in a coma for about 3 or 4 days. Then one night, a terrible shriek woke up my entire house. It was my older brother screaming and crying, saying that John was gone. Once my parents get him calmed down, he tells them that John came into his room crying, saying that he has to leave but he is scared and wants my brother to come with him. While my parents are trying to convince my brother that it was just a dream, the phone rings. It's my uncle calling from the hospital to inform us that John's heart stopped beating. This happened over 30 years ago, but I still get goosebumps thinking about it. That is spooky. It's like deja vu and other creepy things like that. Look both ways. I lived away from home for high school in California. At the time, I didn't have a car, but I rode my bike everywhere. My grandfather had passed a month earlier, but sometimes I felt he was around. I was on my bike, booking it down a sidewalk one day, going the opposite direction of traffic, as you're supposed to do. I was getting to an intersection and had the green arrow when a minivan rolled up in the right turn lane and stopped. She turned her head and saw me, looked me right in the eye, so I figured she was waiting. I didn't slow down. That was a terrible mistake. Just as I'm a few feet away from the curb, going at least 20 miles per hour, she floors it. I'm talking light flashing before my eyes. My friend who was on his bike about 50 feet away from me later said he thought the exact same thing. There was no way I was going to avoid a nasty accident. I hit both brakes. Rookie mistake because now my wheels are locked as my front tire skids off the curb into the busy street. As it hits, it stops, but the bike is still moving, pitching me forward. I'm literally flying through the air. Time has slowed down, and I can see where I'm about to land, in the path of this lady's tires. Suddenly, I felt 2 hands, one on each shoulder blade, shoving me down. I didn't fall in an arc as you would expect. I was literally slammed into the pavement, knocking the wind out of me. 1 second I was speeding towards the minivan, the next I had just stopped like I'd hit a wall and dropped prematurely. I can't prove it, but I'm still pretty sure my grandpa had intervened. That one gave me goosebumps. Oh, that was just, I am so glad that fate, his grandfather, whatever had happened, prevented him from getting into that accident. That is the type of experience that would be super cool. And also, what a bitch that woman was, right? Who the hell stops, sees someone close enough to get through the light or whatever on a bike, a kid no less, I think, or, you know, a young adult maybe, and fucking floors it? How rude. How dangerous is that? Ugh, some people, right? So, I think this one's a little, no, it's about the same. So this one is, here's what the children of our favorite fictional couples would look like today. Molly and Sam from Ghost. So we got Molly right there. And we have Sam right there. That's a cute little kid. I could see it. Looks a lot like Molly. Is it AI? They don't specify. Yeah, that's a cute kid though. Okay, Ross and Rachel from Friends. Oh hey, yeah, I could see that. It looks a lot like Ross in the face. Yeah, that makes a lot. I don't know what I'm doing with this. But yeah, he's a cute kid. Francesca and Robert from the Bridges of Madison County. I don't know this one, but we'll look at it. Oh yeah, that's Meryl Streep. Yeah, the eyes are definitely Meryl. And that smile is his, for sure. That is, yeah, I would say it's one of those, like, combination things. Lana and Clark. Wait, is it not Lois? It's not Lois? Who's Lana? Lana? And Clark. Oh yeah, those eyebrows. Those eyebrows are, what is it, Brandon? No, it's not Brandon, is it? Yeah, I see that. I see that a lot. Monica and Chandler. Oh yeah, cute kid. I see that. Definitely very much like Matthew Perry, who I heard was kind of a jerk. I don't know. When he rest in peace, man. Honestly, I really enjoyed the series. You know, when people die, others get a little more, little bit of freedom in talking the truth about people, but maybe I misread that. Rachel and Frank from The Bodyguard. Oh yeah. Aww. What a cute little kid. I do like that they went a little younger. I have a feeling though, well, I don't know, genetics are weird. I have a feeling though that he might be a little more pale, because he's almost darker than Whitney Houston in that. Wednesday and Tyler? Really? Aren't they kids? I haven't seen this one either. It's on the list. We know this actor, right? We know this person. She exists in real life, right? Anna and William from Notting Hill. Oh yeah, we know those people. Yep, that's her smile. For sure, that's her smile. And some of the smile lines are his. Interesting. Andy and Blaine in Pretty in Pink. Aww. I can't tell if they're freckles or pimples. They look kind of like pimples. Look at that pout. Super cute. Maggie and Seth, City of Angels. Oh yeah, that's definitely a Nicolas Cage look. He's cute. Let's see if there's one more that I know. Jennifer and Marty. Don't know this one. Yeah, it's been a while since yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I see that. Gwen and Peter from Spider-Man. Oh, his version, yep. Those don't look like freckles. What is this? This is just kind of... This is silly, I think. Can't Buy Me Love. One sec. Let's see. Grease. Sandy and Danny from Grease. Yep. I see that. That's a good combo. Yeah. Dirty Dancing, Baby and Johnny. Aww. He's a cute little kid. That's adorable. Got the squinty, cute, smiley face. And his hair and probably eyes, technically. Let's see. Ooh, Titanic. Yes. Jack and Rose. Very much Leo in the face, or in the eyes, rather. Yeah. Cute. I'm not really sure where I'm seeing Rose, though. Maybe the mouth? I wonder if this program, if they go male or female for the kid, if they use more features from one or the other, which is interesting, but also not really true to real life. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Sloane and Ferris. That works. Kind of hard to tell with the photo they chose of her, though. She's literally in water. Lois and Clark, Superman. There we go. But this isn't... Oh, these are the Superman movies, my bad. Yeah, that's definitely a Superman kid, for sure. Very cute. And those eyes, oh my gosh, they're beautiful teal. Love Story, Blue Lagoon. Lake House. Ooh, Kate and Alex from Lake House. Again with the weird-ass pimples. That's a cute kid. I could see that. It looks like Sandra with the eyes. The hair is definitely him. That's cool. Okay, sorry. Last one. Scarlet and Rhett. Gone with the Wind. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Although, at the same time, it looks a lot like Scarlet. I can't tell if this is a female or a male, especially because there's clearly one piercing but not a second piercing. At first I thought it was male because the hair looks to be up, but it could be in an updo. But they very much look like Scarlet with a little like smoother features, like not as arched eyebrows, not as angry a look. A little more laid back like Rhett. That was fascinating. Okay, we'll do a quiz. I think this is what we're gonna do because I'm close to 30 minutes and I don't want to go much longer than that. So we'll do this quiz. It's May the Odds Be Ever in Your Favor. Learning which Hunger Games district you belong to. And hopefully this won't take too long. Oh, maybe I should have zoomed it in too. Whoops. One sec. If you ever want to do this yourself, just press Control and the =+ sign. You have to hold Control, and it will zoom in. Otherwise, you can do the --_ to back up. Or you can just click up here and it will go back to 100%. Alright. Which superpower would help you in the arena? Controlling plants, mind control of sea creatures, super strength. Honestly, shape-shifting abilities I think would be the best, or controlling plants. It might be too obvious to want the ability to fly and escape. You could control animals for your bidding or manipulate the elements. Whatever it takes for survival. Which state is your favorite? Really? Okay, but why is it just Idaho, Georgia, Mississippi, Colorado or Montana, and then it's Maine, Florida, California, and Washington? What? None of those have anything in common. Well, okay, let's think about this. Colorado and Montana is the upper northwest. Idaho is up there with Colorado and Montana. Georgia and Mississippi is down south, almost near the Gulf of Mexico. Maine and Florida are on the east coast, but opposite ends. California and Washington are on the west coast, opposite ends. Draw upon your inner Katniss and imagine where you would ideally like to lay your head at night. After the games, think of where your new life will begin. Honestly? Oh, where you would... Wait, never mind. I was like, in the games or out of the games? What weapon would you grab for battle? Sickle or staff, axe or sword? Sword I could wield better, but staff or sickle would have further range. But I think I could do sword much better. Axe would be helpful for getting woods, though. Ordinarily, any sort of violence is wrong. In the Hunger Games arena, however, violence is how you survive. For battle, you need to decide between practicality and results. Who would you never fight in the arena? Katniss, Hulk, Aquaman, or Cinna? Cinna, I feel like, would be easy. He's a fashion designer, right? I don't remember much more about his backstory. Keep in mind, I've only watched the movies. I haven't gotten around to watching or reading the books. Honestly, I wouldn't want to fight the Hulk. Battling your hero, winning and killing them, or dying at their hand. Job would you like to do? Chef or fisherman, blacksmith, lumberjack, or farmer? Blacksmith sounds cool, but very annoying. In terms of, the heat. But it'd be cool, because you could make your own, like, weapons and knives and cool things like that. What would you avoid in the arena if you could? Tidal waves, invisible force field, fireballs, poisonous gases, and fumes. Definitely that. Who would sponsor you in the arena? Whole Foods, Stanley Tools, Home Depot, Red Lobster, and SeaWorld. I don't understand this, especially using real world equivalents. I mean, Whole Foods would be great. I wouldn't have to worry about food, right? How would you make the arena more challenging? Booby traps, swamps, vines, quicksand, intoxicate the air, shark-infested waters. I would do booby traps. Disney character would be your partner in the arena. Ariel, Thor, Woody, or Simba. You can't throw... I wish when they said Disney they would go classic and just do like Ariel, Simba, Aladdin, and I don't know, Belle or something. Don't throw Pixar and Marvel or Star Wars into it anymore. Honestly, I would go with probably Thor. Let's be real. What would you bring as an offering to the arena? Offering? Cornucopia of fruits, seashells, or exotic fish, handcrafted... Oh, yeah. Handcrafted statues or idols, gold or diamonds. Cornucopia of fruit. Why not? Where would you go on vacation? Rock climbing in the Rockies, Australia, Martha's Vineyard, or Brazil? Let's go with Brazil. I don't know much about it. What activity would you like to do on vacation? Explore caves, swim in the ocean, search the beach for gold and jewels, zip lining, or bungee jumping. So when my brain went to caves, I was thinking of, those, like, wide open caves that aren't actually caves. They're kind of like coves. So I'm gonna say zip lining or bungee jumping. I was expecting this to be shorter, but I forgot. Zodiac sign. I am on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces. I forget what I usually answer. Which snack are you packing for arena competition? Seaweed, granola bar, fruits, or beef jerky? Granola bar is gonna last longer. What show do you binge watch? Trading Spaces, Shark Tank, Stranger Things, or MasterChef? Bullshit. Though it was interesting back in the 2000s. Okay now and then. Okay now and then. I guess I'd go with Stranger Things, but I've pretty much watched it all. What social media app is your go-to? Instagram, TikTok, why are they calling it Meta? It's Facebook. Or Twitter. How about none? I use Facebook the most. I use Twitter only to promote the streams. I don't have TikTok, and Instagram is basically my cat. So I guess I'll say Facebook. What scenery would you choose for your Hunger Games? Mountains, ocean, lake, rivers, jungle or forest, desert, flatlands, plains. Ooh, that would be really tough for them to get through and deal with. Which trade industry would you choose to work in? Fishing, mining or factory work, construction, farming, or lawn care. Definitely not these two. Although I am interested in bricklaying, it sounds fun. I'm not a fan of farming, but lawn care would be interesting, so I'm gonna go with fishing for today. What would be your Hunger Games character name? Blight? I mean, you can't do Katniss. Mags is a cool name. Cedar is bullshit. I'm gonna go with Mags. What bird would you choose as your pet? Owl, parrot, penguin, eagle, or hawk? Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go with an eagle or a hawk. That sounds cool. I do love penguins, though, but they kind of need a buddy. How would you dress for competition in the arena? Camouflage, jeans, work pants, sweatshirt, waterproof athletic gear, layers, and hiking boots. Honestly, I think waterproof athletic gear would be great because if I'm thinking of the stuff I wore for canoeing, it dries off wicked quick, and as it dries, it warms you up. So, theoretically, the same might be true of sweat. So that's why I'm going to choose it. Which Olympic sport would you compete in? Weightlifting, synchronized swimming, decathlon, or javelin? Definitely not these two. I'm not good at that. Javelin sounds fun, but I like swimming, but I don't know if I'd be good at synchronized swimming. Let's go with javelin. How would you have fun in Pan Am? Cave exploration, tractor pulls, barn dances, surfing, water skiing, campfires, or bonfires? Cave exploration. What would you buy if you won the lottery? A house, cabin or a home in the woods, a boat, jewelry spelt wrong, land or property. Definitely land or property, because then hopefully I can put something on there. What would be your strategy to win the Hunger Games? Travel through the trees, use creatures for travel and battle, burrow, dig, use navigation devices, be mostly in or underwater. I wouldn't be skilled at it, but I did like Katniss's idea of traveling through the trees. It was very smart. And I'm not that good a swimmer. Which footwear are you wearing for the Hunger Games? Cross trainers, water socks or water shoes, hiking boots. Where the hell are the sneakers? Give me like Converse or Vans, like the high top Vans so they'll protect your ankle. Like I can walk in those all day. Cross trainers. What the hell are cross trainers? Let me look that up real quick. My phone would actually unhook. Cross trainers look like Nike shoes. So we'll go with that. Which color would you wear for competition? Black would kind of mean you mean business. Plaid is very Maine. And navy blue isn't a bad color. How many friends do you have? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, bud. I would definitely say I have 4 more. A couple really close ones, but I have a decent amount of friends, I think. Who would be your partner in the arena? You mean not Thor? Haymitch, Gale, Peeta, Katniss. Did we ever learn much about Haymitch and like what he did and could do? Because I'm gonna go with Katniss in this one, I think. Gale's a fucking twit. How would you train for the Hunger Games? Weight train, swim, rock climb, cardio. Ooh, cardio or rock climb. Let's go rock climb. Who are your role models? Soldiers or sailors, farmers, first responders, or parents? Role models? Not really. I mean, anyone who decides to be a parent is fucking brave as hell. I don't really have an answer for that one, though. Who would you fight for in the Hunger Games? Myself, teammates, coworkers, friends, or family? I consider my friends to be family, so I'm gonna say family. How would you feel on the way to the Hunger Games? Nervous, confident, excited, prepared. Nervous. What sword trick would you like to learn? Ooh. Do you think it's a what axe trick if I had chosen axe earlier? Samurai martial arts style, lunge, rapier, one or two-handed axe attacks. That's not... I mean, definitely samurai martial arts. How often do you work out? Too tired. How competitive are you? I have my moments. Would you lie for a coworker? Only if necessary. Depends on the coworkers. Like if I'm thinking retail, definitely not. What catches your eye on Pinterest? I don't go on Pinterest, I hate it. But let's say travel destinations. Sometimes crafts. Stranded in the woods, what one thing do you have to have? Compass or tracking device. Flashlight, matches. These aren't one item. Food, snack, hunting, or utility knife. If you're lost, you want a compass. Because if you have any indication of where you are, you can go north, south, east, or west. Flashlight would be helpful, obviously matches would too. A map would be the best. If you could figure out where you are, that's the thing. And the knife obviously has its uses as well, but I'm gonna go with compass for this one. Which animal do you identify the most with? Bat or an owl? Eagle? That's like those guys. A bull? A whale or a shark? You know what? I gotta go with bat or owl because I'm a freaking night owl. None of these make sense. Congrats, you finished. Coal? District 12 coal. The coal District 12 is a natural fit for you. While you may not work in the coal mines, you work long and hard days, barely having time for your family or yourself. Every day is spent working your hands to the bone with the dream of building a better life for yourself and your family. What others find to be basic needs are luxury items to you. Money cannot buy you love or happiness, but having more would help to make life easier for you and your family. Well, fuck, they did nail the... They did nail it on the head. That's kind of hilarious. Okay. Well, as you can see from these tabs, I have a few more items we can go over and take a look at some point, but I'm at 37 minutes with that damn quiz taking so friggin' long. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope the music wasn't too loud, and I'll obviously listen to it before I release it to make sure it's not too bad, and either re-record or do an edit for it. But yeah, I thank you guys for watching. If you have suggestions for, you know, like general quizzes you'd like to see me do in the future, like, I don't even know, like what Pokemon are you or something to that effect, feel free to let me know. Or if you want to join my Discord, feel free to link things there in the general chat, or suggestions chat, I think it is. Or if you have like spooky stories you want me to read, or anything else you find interesting. These are the ones that I have found on Facebook when I'm, you know, catching up with my friends. And I save, and I save to read later when I can. But I figured I'd read with you guys because they are pretty fascinating. I have a few others that are pretty good looking forward. But yeah, so make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, it is free to you. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified every time I'm going to go live, or if I've uploaded a video, which I'm going to keep trying to do. See you guys next time.